Eagles yesterday, 22 points, 121 passing yards, third down, 2 for 11. Greg, was Jalen just rusty from what you saw?
Like, fortunately for Jalen Hurts, he has the excuse, and the Eagles have the excuse of saying, it was rust. He hadn't played in a few weeks, first game back. We kind of anticipated there being some sort of rust. But he started the game off pretty good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of fell apart. And so that's what's extremely concerning for me. So I don't chalk it up to rust. This team with Saquon Barkley, you add him and you automatically looked at and view this team as a Super Bowl caliber S-Bob.
Right.
S-Bob team because of him. And when you look at Jalen Hurts, you expect him to be better because of what Saquon Barkley garners, the attention, all in the run game as well as in the pass game. When you can't throw the ball in the postseason.
Can I put it away, Greg? If the Eagles have a weak link,
it's Jalen.
what is it?
It's Jalen Hurts.
They're top notch.
I mean, because he's won 3 career playoff games with them. He's thrown for a total of 405 yards in those 3 games. 154, 121, 131. And it's not in those games, he's never rushed for more than 38. So, it's not like, he's killed him with his legs or whatever it is. Listen, they are used to it because this isn't record when your quarterback throws for less than 150. If we can show that to you real quick. The Eagles this year are 5-1, and the one loss was the game he got concussed and got knocked out. So they're basically undefeated if he, finishes the game. The rest of the league wins 35% of their games. So they can win despite it, Brew. Mm-hmm. But right now, this is the alarm the team was signaling with the what's wrong, what do you need to improve on passing? Because I agree with exactly what you said about the Packers. This Eagles team was ripe for the taking. That's what makes it so tough for Green Bay was the Eagles did not play a great football game yesterday. And they, they won easily anyway.
Mm-hmm. Look, they got to get the offense together. And they've been good all year for the most part. So I won't just hold yesterday's game against them. But if you're facing Detroit, now if the defense is going to shut down whoever they play next and Detroit like that, then you can win this way. Yeah. But if you get in a shootout, they have the pieces everywhere to win a shootout except maybe quarterback. So it's going to – look, and I think Jalen is good for what he's not, your typical pocket passer. He's a good quarterback, though. But is he good enough to win the shootout? And he is their weak link.
He will be the reason they don't get it done.
Right.
Okay. Jalen
They're
Hurts
top flight everywhere.
Okay. That's a bold statement. He will be the reason why they don't get it done. Okay. Let's unpack this. There is a handful of things that I really want to talk about. And I assume later in the show they'll talk about like A.J. Brown and all of that. So we'll leave that separate right now. But in terms of Jalen Hurts, right, I don't think it was rust. I don't think that was an issue. As Greg pointed out, this was, because they started off really well and then things kind of started to deteriorate a little bit. But I do think it's disingenuous. Not necessarily on purpose. So disingenuous is probably not the right word, but just misleading when you say like, oh, Jalen Hurts has 3 playoff victories. He's only thrown for 100 in this and 100 that. And it's like, okay, but then you talk about the Super Bowl that he balled out, played unbelievable, was involved in a shootout, played insanely well and lost. So it's just like to just kind of look at how they won. Like it's just not fair. And the way how like this game unfolded, they did not need Jalen Hurts to let it rip. They weren't even trying to. That wasn't their game plan. And it was smart. They did exactly what they needed to do. They played smart, situational football. And Tom Brady praised it. And it was accurate. Tom Brady highlighted, because I think there was some boos, and whatever the other guy's name is who does the actual, play-by-play, his name has completely slipped my mind. He was like, oh, they just hand the ball off on 3rd down, and Tom Brady's like, I like that a lot. It's smart, it's situational, This is a game that the Eagles are in control. Don't force a turnover. And yeah, sometimes teams like they catch someone off guard, 3rd and long, deep in their own territory, and they let it rip for a 45-yard pass, and it's like, oh yeah, and that can put up more points, but it's also a risk that the Philadelphia Eagles did not need to take. You know who took risks? The Green Bay Packers. You know who lost the game? The Green Bay Packers. I said this in my Packers video. The Eagles showed the path that the Packers could have used to win. Don't turn the ball over. Have a conservative pass game. Rely on your defense. Rely on your run game. They did not. They tried to force the ball down the field, and what happened? Big play, Slay, intercepted the ball. Like, that's what happens. You turn the ball over, you get away from your run game, you get away from your defense, you lose the game. So this is what the Eagles, they need to win. Yes, they 100% should have had more points. You want to see them be better. They were 2 for 11 on 3rd down. That's not good enough. They were 1 for 4 in the red zone. That's not good enough. No denying it. It was 3 turnovers by the first half, and they were only up 10-0. That is not good enough. No doubt about it. But multiple things can be true. Jake Elliott missing the extra point. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? Can Jake Elliott kick anymore? That's unsettling. You're going to the playoffs. You're asking Jake Elliott to kick a 45-yard field goal, let alone like a 55-yarder. You're like, I don't know, man. What do we do here? Like, that's uncomfortable. The tackling wasn't great. The Eagles' defense played really great, but they had some pretty bad tackling. But I think they played slow in a positive way. Efficient. No angst, no excess energy. They weren't trying to prove a point. They were just trying to win. That's what they were doing. They weren't trying to prove a point. They were just trying to win. And I loved that Jalen Hurts. Like, he went to Dotson. He's like, I got him for a touchdown. Boom. He doesn't need to say, I got to hit Saquon. I got to hit, AJ. I got to hit Devontae. And it was great. Listen, do you want to see them be able to get more involved? AJ and Devontae. No doubt about it. But it was still a high-level football game. Jalen Hurts was highly efficient. 13 for 21, 131 yards, 6 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, and a 111 rating. It was a clean game. He took care of the ball. He wasn't a liability. Saquon, obviously, 25 carries for 119 yards, 4.8 yards per carry. But I get it. This team is stacked. This team is Super Bowl or bust. And the guys that are on the hot seat, right or wrong, are Jalen Hurts and Sirianni. No one thinks AJ is not good enough. No one thinks Devontae. No one thinks that O-line isn't good enough. No one thinks that defense. No one questions Fangio. At this point, there's really no questions about Kellen Moore. But people do have questions about Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Fair or not, it is the reality. And someone in the comment section said, hey, Lamar Jackson, he had a similar box score, but everyone's praising him, how great, he played. And this is where some advanced analytics, I think, go a long way. Because, the box score can be kind of similar, 76% completion percentage. Jalen Hurts was 61% completion percentage, so obviously a drop off there. 131 yards to 175. Both had 2 touchdowns. But you can see the higher level, right? Jalen Hurts has a 66 rating. Lamar Jackson has a 93 rating. So you just can't compare box score to box score. But make no mistake about it. Jalen Hurts still offers a lot. And to say that they can't win a shootout or that they can't win when you really need Jalen Hurts to pass it's just not true. It's just not accurate. This is their best path forward. And if they really do need to throw the ball and push the ball down the field, they are capable of doing that. They are obviously capable of doing that. but it's risk reward. They know that if they just take care of the ball, they move the chains, they dominate time of possession, and they run the ball, they win. They win, they win, they win. And that really is all that matters right now. And you know what? If they ended up losing this game, or they have played another similar game like this, and, but the other team's just better, and they put up points, and it's a problem, then yeah, we'll discuss it. We'll talk about it. I'll call Jalen Hurts out for I'll absolutely hold his feet to the fire. But as of right now, this is the game plan, and it's smart that they're not trying to force something beyond it. Again, the Green Bay Packers could have won this game if they followed the Eagles' game plan, and they did not. And look where it got them. They're at home now, watching TV, while the Philadelphia Eagles are hosting another playoff game. There you go. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts' struggles? Do you agree with Greg and Nick, where they will be the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles do not win? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.